Welcome to Maths Board. In this session, we will learn universal law of gravitation. So this law of gravitation has been given by Newton, and in previous chapter, you have already learned about Newton's three laws. So first Newton's law tells us about inertia. Second Newton's law tells us about momentum, and third Newton's law tells us about action to reaction. So now in universal law of gravitation, Newton says that two objects which has mass. Now, what is mass? Everything, each object or each body which occupies the space. So, it has mass. So, Newton says two objects which has mass, they attract each other. Before this, you all know this planets revolves the sun. Planets revolves around the sun. This is sun and these are planets. You all know about that. And the moon revolves around the earth. Like it, this is earth and the moon revolves around the earth like this. Why this is happening? I will give the answer. Now, if anything in your hand and you leave it, what will happen? You leave it, it comes down to the earth. Why? Because earth pulls each object towards its center. Now, Newton says each object which has mass, they attract each other. So, can we say I and you are also a mass? Yes, we are also mass. So, now question arises it. If we are mass or you are also a mass and you have a thing in your hand and you leave it, so why you are not attracted? Definitely you are attracting it, but we have very less mass in compared to earth. Earth has very biggest mass. So for attraction, it needs to have a very big mass in any object. So our attraction to this object is likely negligible in compared to earth. So earth attracts each object towards its center, and whenever any object free falls, then it goes down to the earth. So this is the concept for here universal law of gravitation. So what will happen here? We can say just like this. Wait for some moment. So now come to the point, universal law of gravitation. Newton says two objects which has mass attract each other, and whenever we leave any object, it goes down to the earth. And universal, what does it mean? Word universal. So universal means this law of gravitation is applicable on all bodies which has mass, and it doesn't mean any difference they are big or small or celestial or terrestrial bodies. It applicable on all type of body which has mass, but they need very big mass. Sometimes small mass also can attract whenever they are not in touch with big mass. So it is applicable on all bodies and everywhere, on the earth, on the moon, and in space. So we have seen here planets revolves around the sun, moon revolves around the earth. So this is the concept. Universal law of gravitation is applicable here. There are attraction between these planet and Earth. There are attraction between moon and Earth. So moon revolves around the Earth. So concept is clear. Now come to the point of mathematical formula for universal law of gravitation. So these two objects, which has one object has mass m1 and the second object has mass m2, they are placed at the distance d. There are distance is d between these two masses. So this law is said to be the force of attraction between these two masses. These two mass, this object attract to this and this object to attract to this. Both objects attract each other. So the force of attraction between these two objects is directly proportional to the product of the mass. Product of the mass. So F is proportional to the m1 multiplied by m2. So first object has the mass m1, second object has the mass m2. So the force of attraction directly proportional to the product of the mass of these both objects. And the second point is the force of the attraction is inversely proportional to the square of the distance of these objects. So we have seen here these two objects is placed at the distance d. So here is inversely proportional to the square of the distance of these two objects. So this is the formula. Whenever we combined it, so F is proportional to m1 multiplied by m2 divided by d square. So what will happen if I write here in equal format? So F is equal to, we have to place here a constant m1 multiplied by m2 upon d square. So F is equal to G m1 multiplied by m2 upon d square, where G is here universal constants. Now we will find the G formula here. So G will equal to D will be transposed to the here, and F multiplied by d square, and m1 m2 will be goes to transpose m1 multiplied by m2. So G is equal to f d square upon m1 m2. Now G is universal constant of the gravitation. Once again, universal, its mean is here. G value will never be changed anywhere. What is the value for G is here? So G is here 6.67 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square kg square per kg square. So F has the unit Newton, D is the distance, so it has the meter square, and the mass m1 m2, so it's kg square. So G value is 6.67 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. So this value will never be changed at any place. It will be same on Earth, on moon, in space, anywhere. G will never be changed. Now some importance of the universal law of gravitation. So first, the force that binds us to the Earth. So this is the universal law of gravitation, that we can stand on the Earth and never we fly. And because Earth attracts us towards the center, and we can stand on the Earth successfully. And the second, the motion of the moon around the Earth, I have already told before the explanation of the formula. The motion of planets around the sun, it has also been, all planets revolves around the sun, moon revolves around the sun, and the fourth, tides due to the moon and the sun. So these are the importance of the universal law of gravitation. So this is the universal law of gravitation.